Hello and welcome everybody. So, how is everybody doing? I hope you have a fantastic day today, or whenever you're watching this video, and afterwards. We are showcasing a rather different rotation this time for PVE bossing. Now, this rotation came to my perspective from a viewer. He's or she, I don't know, suggested me this rotation back in summer. I had tested it back then, but it fell short for a little bit of damage. But from then till now, something has changed. So, Brutal Incision got a bit of buff, and when I say a bit, I mean it got a 35% increase on monster damage, which is very good. And also, Cyclonic Fury got a 20% extra damage boost against monsters. Excuse me, I fucking sneezed right when I decided to make this video. Anyway, so let's get going. The positives from this rotation is that we are getting rid of 10 specialization points from here, and we are getting rid of 2 specialization points from here. That means 12 specialization points that we can invest to more damage from other abilities, while also maintaining a good amount of damage from our other abilities that we got rid of those specializations. Now, Flaming Arc is gonna be our main priority on damage output, just because every other spell has a lot of damage invested by itself. Now, of course, those are the specializations I'm running right now for this rotation. This specific rotation, I've tested it while full buffed on dummy. I might do a dummy test like I did back in September. My old rotation used to be around 42 seconds fully buffed. I know that's of course an extremely long dummy damage check. This class cannot be compared anymore to Invocator, cannot be compared of course to Crucifix even after nerfs. Of course Enigma has more damage and Fury as well. So I would say Shadow Dancer may be coming 5th. I haven't seen Gladiators right now. I might test some of PvE Gladiator pretty soon, but I'm pretty sure that Shadow Dancer can come in 5th place when it comes to PvE bossing. Because we all know Crucifix is broken, or at least it was broken. Invocator got a buff on curses, or like 100% extra damage with the curse abilities. It got buffed on the stuff. Judgment Lightning, Focused Fireball got buffed. And we're still here just getting minor buffs for PvE. But of course, we have the PvP aspect to be redeemed for, because we have such a nice class for PvPs. Now, where I left my speech, to say it like that. My old dummy timer, fully buffed, was 42 to 45 seconds. Now with this rotation I managed to get a 32-second dummy with full buffs. 32 to 35 because I did like 4 to 5 tests. Now when I say full buffed, I mean everything. I mean food, I mean remedy, I mean guardian, I mean every possible buff you can get. Even from artifact, the 15% extra base damage. To cover all this up, let me introduce you to this rotation. Now, for Masteries, I'm still using the Bloodseeker and all of this damage output. Of course, I'm using the Merciless form. Now, that's just because it gives you some extra damage. I tested Old Hand Frenzy, but it reduces your spear weapons damage as well, which is very bad for your spear, because you have a lot of damaging spear spells, and that's your main damage. That's why I'm using the heroic spear as well, and not the heroic daggers. But yeah, those are the masteries for Dagger again. Now, if I am pretty confident, I would go like this. This gives you a lot more damage, but it's riskier for you to die. you don't have the solo sustainability, you will need a healer to pay attention to you. But you can also go like this to have the lifesteal. And those are for the spears. Pretty standard, pretty nice, I would say. It's pretty good. Now, this rotation has two parts. It has the dagger rotation and the spear rotation. Our main focus will be the spear rotation. This is the hardest part. I will have a slow motion video in the end so you will be able to see a little bit better the rotation, how it's going. But the thing you have to pay attention is your burst and ignite stacks. Now, of course, just to get off with the dagger rotation, it's pretty simple buffs. Gale Rush for attack speed, Cleaving Moonlight for attack speed again, and you're gonna use just Fatal Stigma and Frenzy Sword. Those two abilities are your main dagger abilities. So, of course, buffs again, you're gonna use them, Gale Rush Cleaving, and Stigma with Frenzy Sword. Now, it's pretty convenient because those two abilities, you will see it has a 0.5 second cooldown apart. This is amazing for bossing, so whenever they are off cooldown, because they will be off cooldowns together, you're gonna just spam them. Stigma, Frenzy Sword, you're good to go. Now, when it comes hard for this rotation, is gonna be the burst flaming, the burst ignite stacks to have in mind, but it's a lot easier than our previous rotation. So we have the Cyclonic Fury for 5 burst stacks. Pretty convenient, you just use it, you have 5 burst stacks immediately. Pretty good. Now, burst stacks will gives us extra damage on Flaming Arc, Slaughtering Slash, and Brutal Fury, which is huge. With one ability, we're getting 15% extra damage to every single one of these abilities, and 7% extra damage from our mastery. So it's pretty huge to have it all the time active. Now, to manage it pretty easily, you will see that Cyclonic Fury and Slaughtering Slash have an interesting combination. Now, if you see here, the burst stacks are on 6 seconds, 5, and it's going down. If I use Slaughtering Slash, it gets completely removed, but increases the damage of Slaughtering Slash. Now, that means that every time we're using Slaughtering Slash, we are 100% sure that we have 0 burst stacks on target. Now, why this is convenient, why I'm referring to this, is because if we have burst stacks on target and it's gonna expire in 2 or 1 second, and we're gonna use the Cyclonic Fury, those burst stacks won't get reapplied. You need to have 0 burst stacks on the target to get them reapplied by Cyclonic Fury. So we will mostly using Slaughtering Slash and then going to Cyclonic Fury. Now, with a bow in the party, this rotation can be done flawlessly just by spamming the rotations, because you will always have Slaughtering Slash almost immediately with Cyclonic Fury. You don't have to pay in mind all that much with burst stacks. Now, if you don't have a bow in party, it's getting a little bit more complicated. You have to pay more attention when you're using your Cyclonic and Slaughtering Slash, because they will be off cooldowns. Not cooldowns, sorry. The difference in cooldowns will be off timing. Now, for the actual rotation on the spear, you're going to use Cyclonic, then Flaming Arc to get it off cooldown, so we will have more ignite stacks when we will be using the Slaughtering Slash, because we will use 2 Flaming Arcs in this whole rotation. So the main rotation will be Cyclonic, Flaming Arc, Brutal Fury, Flaming Arc, and then Slaughtering Slash. Now, to this whole rotation, around when we will be using the Brutal Fury, we will see that there is going to be 1 or 1.5 to 2 seconds that Flaming Arc will be on cooldown, and that's because we don't have a bow in party right now for the marker. In between those times, we will be using our Brutal Incision, some Cleaving Moonlight, the second part of the Gen Venom, just so we will be keep applying damage in the meantime. So to show you how it's done, wrong button, cyclonic, flaming, those three. Now some other abilities, flaming, and now slaughtering. The reason we're doing that is because slaughtering will consume all flaming or ignite and burst stacks at the same time. So you do want to have as much stacks from both of these weaken effects as possible in the end of the rotation. So slaughtering can increase its damage so much more because it's really important for the rotation. Now again, slaughtering will take out all your burst and ignite stacks, so you will be ready to do the rotation again from the beginning. If you have a bow, this rotation comes back again with all the cooldowns together at the same time. So it's pretty nice. You have the spear rotation with all its cooldowns at the same time. You have your dagger rotation, which is just those two spells at the same time, back off the cooldown. Another extra part of this rotation is we're not using the thundercloud bombing, we're using brutal incision. That means we can spam this whenever it's off cooldown. Just spam this ability. Every time you see it off cooldown, you're gonna use it immediately. As long as the Gale Rush and the buffs. Those are the abilities you're gonna permanently use on the target without even thinking. The buffs, Gale Rush, and Brutal Incision. Now, Cleaving Moonlight is a little bit trickier. You have to use it and just wait until the last second to use it again, so you will have this attack speed buff all the time possible. With enough buff duration, you're gonna have a Gale Rush uptime all the time as well. It's on a 9-second buff duration. Buff duration? Yeah, sorry. Yeah, my English are still not all that good. So you're gonna have to you're gonna have Gale Rush all the time up. So this is pretty much it for this rotation. It's pretty much better than my old rotation. I want to say again a thank you to a viewer of mine that suggested that to me. I'm coming here. I'm coming here. I am getting this rotation back to everybody to test it out, to use them. I don't know if someone else was using them as well, or were someone else. I don't know if it was or were, but yeah. If anybody has a better rotation than this, I'm here to test it out, of course. I was pretty late on this after the buffs. I want to say pretty much sorry about this. I am playing a little bit on the PvP side right now. But yeah, you will have the slow motion right now. And thank you very much for watching.